I'm Margaret Ann Windsor, and the name I have to use is Peggy Ann Dempsey, Married Shoulders. This is going to be tape 2, and this is about being in the car furnished by Larry Flint, the Aries, and what the journey. I try to laugh at you. You'd scream if you didn't find a way to get through it. Anyway, I just I'm going to put up this number 1 tape to it, and then this one. I'll just call it the Hustler Car. How's that? That's easy to remember, and maybe people. So this will be tape 2. So now then, I'm going to go back to when I had the car, and I was in Stanton and ran out of gas, and the mouse was under the hood of the car, and I thought it was a snake, but I ran out of gas, and the Virginia State Trooper, they meant to stop me there. He stopped me and handcuffed me, and when I tried to walk away, I told him I didn't know that I could have called road service there because the car was leased and it would have paid for it in gas too. I didn't know that. So anyway, I was going to, he said something about that he was going to take me in and get me they had a homeless shelter or something. Now, mind you, I'm in the hustler car and this and my belongings are there, what I have. So he catches me and he arrests me. He said, I'll get you for resisting arrest. What's he arresting me for? Because they've done all this to me. Are you getting this? And somebody's going to hear me from out. It's the oddest situation I've been put in. Okay, so anyway, he handcuffs me and takes me in. Then later, they say that this is not a Virginia State Trooper that did this. Yes, he handcuffed me, took me into Stanton. I go in, they go through all my stuff, and my dad's pictures, my kids, what few I have in the papers and stuff I have in there. So now then they've got me handcuffed, and I'm sitting in front of the jail cell here in Stanton, rather in Bedford, which is back across and down the Blue Ridge Parkway near Roanoke. So I'm sitting there scared to death, tired. I think the policeman came back there, and while they were rifling through my stuff and they're letting me watch them, he said, are you hungry? I think he bought me a hamburger. I'm sure he did. Got me a hamburger. He undid the handcuffs after I've been sitting there a while. He said something about, didn't you, weren't you over in Grottoes? And I said, yeah, I was trying to get back there. Some people I know. He said, the Rhino, because I'm getting this best I can, the words. And I said, yes. Well, he said, well, they're related to me. He said, Riney, they called him Riney. His name was Philip, which gets into like Philip Mountbatten, Philip I grew up with, and this Lynx. And he said, he won't like what's happening to you. He'll come get you. He said, I'm going to call him. So I was going to have to pay a fine to get out of jail and the car back. It had been hauled off by the state troopers. That's who they told me they were. I'm going to skip to this later. I was back in the shelter in Stanton, because you got to hear all this stuff that went on in Stanton. Woody Woodrow Wilson way back, and Anastasia, and then me. And they want to go after Trump for collusion with Russia. Holy cow. Anyway, the Reinekes came and got me. And come find out, I was probably, if you can say this in a sense, lucky that there was some law enforcement in there that may not have been able to protect me to the best, but they tried. I will give them credit for that. Yeah, I guess. Anyway, Wilma, the daughter, came and picked me up and paid the $200. I think it was for me to be able to leave. So the handcuffs are off, and I get in the car with her, and I promised her I'd pay her father back and I did. And I wasn't getting I was getting $100 salary a month to work there, room and board. I was living in a Terry. Get this, this is who I call in here. I have to laugh. It was a camper named Terry. Later, he becomes such a part of all this. I guess he doesn't want me putting this up either, but here I go. So anyway, I'm back over at the Rhinos pumping gas, and I did pay. He said I didn't have to pay him, and I didn't, but I did. I paid him back the $200. I believe it was 200. That was to get me out of jail, and then the car was brought back there. Did I have to pay to get the car out and for having it towed? I can't remember now. Anyway, later, this is on later when I'm back out without even Reinekas. And I'm going to lose my train of thought. I got to get off here. Oh, God, what was that? I can't remember. Oh, yeah. I was in a homeless shelter there, and then that gets into it's this horror story at the homeless shelter, what happens and who I meet. I can't think of what I'm going to say now. It was horrible. Oh, God. I'm not kidding you. In Green, this gets to, I've already put this up, but it's so many videos way back. A little later, I'm back in Stanton at the Catholic shelter, which was horrible. And it's not funny. I can't right now. I can't think. I couldn't even put it up. You're going to have all these people, unless there is film that was made of this, they're going to lie. They've already done it. You'd have to see who I met there, but what was the real reason for me relating to that being back there? I mean, it was horrible what happened there. I can't. I've gotten that far now. I can't go any further. I can't remember. Well, I do remember this. One of the women, she wasn't a nun, I don't think. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm going to tell. But not my ride. They're Catholic. And get groceries. I'm not fond of the Catholics. Let's just make a whole slew of people that hate me here while I'm at it. I'm not Catholic, and Church of England right at the moment have in my takedown of my father, so I'm not too fond of them. And they let Elizabeth, this crook in there, and sit in church, and the rest of the mob of illegal monarchy there. So then, who have I not told the truth about here? Because they don't want the truth told. And I'm afraid that somebody in here in this room, that somebody's going to come and handcuff me again. I'm good at being handcuffed. Well, yeah, they handcuffed me, and then the state of Virginia said it wasn't a state trooper that did it. I walked into their office while I was at that Catholic shelter thing. She told me to walk up there. Mind you, I'm good at walking back then. Sleet, snow, sun, you name it. Walk up there and go in, and I want to ask them about it. I have no rights, but I'm going to ask them. And there's this one guy, I bet you, I couldn't remember, I bet you he's the one that arrested me, and he had the uniform on. He said, we weren't the ones that arrested you. He said, the Virginia State Trooper didn't arrest you. Well, somebody did. Somebody handcuffed me. Somebody took me down, and I sit there in jail, and all this. I'm going to quit on this. I got to get up and go and get some things done. And I try to laugh, and then I can see where it's like an episode. And like somebody told me, Tara did, I will never see him again. He's long gone, I guess. He said it would have to be done like in volumes if books were written or something. And here I am. People would say, well, you're laughing about it. That's the only way I've gotten through this. It's been horror. And if I'd be being redundant, but I may put down a little bit more if I can remember to about Stanton and oh my God, the horror